Welcome back to the Fit Dad Club podcast. My name is Travis Jones. I'm here with Jason Barrett for another week to help you become the best version of yourself as a dad, as a role model, as a leader of your family, and knocking things left, right, and center. There'll be a couple of bangs and crashes maybe in this podcast today, and that's only to wake you up out of being in a survival mode instead of thriving as the best version of yourself. Jace, how you doing today, mate?
Yeah, sometimes you just got to drop some knowledge and drop some shit on your table, and just like you got to wake out of those old patterns. I'm doing good. I was telling Trav, my legs are recovering from my first 5K in over a year. I just raw dogged it, just went straight out and ran in the light rain, which is, to be honest, far more pleasant than the last times that I've been doing my runs have all been like spring and summer. So I didn't die of heat stroke. I was like, oh, you just
It's all right.
you're getting cooled off by the wind. It's nice. It's not too bad. So I don't know what you're complaining about running, or you never complain about running in Tassie, but it's fuck. You've got it good. I'll give you that much. But yeah, got it in like 27:30 or something like that, which was nice. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that for the first run in like over a year. So gonna get back into things, and Run for a Reason always falls on the weekend of my wife's birthday. So I'll see if I can do it. I'd like to do it, but at the same time, it's like, if happy wife, happy life, you got to make these sacrifices. I'll just run 12Ks another day.
You could be running for a different reason.
Yeah.
My week's been all right, mate. I think I did High Rocks. Yeah, I did High Rocks over the weekend. It was supposed to be a doubles, and it turned into a solo. So I did the High Rocks Pro myself. And I hadn't done any weight training really for the last 4 weeks because I had a back injury. So it was interesting. The most weights I'd done is some curls and bench press really over the last month, other than doing some runs on the treadmill. But got it done, pushed through, finished the event. My legs are a bit sore, but I am already looking forward to the December High Rocks. And I'll see if I maybe can get a ticket for the Perth one. Who knows? We will see what happens there. But December, definitely.
Well, I was gonna say we might have to do that one as doubles potentially.
Exactly.
If I don't blow my back out in the lead up to it too.
Exactly. And today, guys, we're going to talk about the 10 standards of the future you. And I think there is a future us out there for every single one of us. Hopefully, it's the one that you're trying to strive for at the moment. But there is always a version of you who's the best version of you. And there's a version of you if you default into because you haven't designed it. And, today we're going to talk about the 10 standards. And it's a code that every high-performing dad must live by. Most dads don't need more motivation. They need a standard to live by. And that's what this episode's about. It's unfiltered. It's going to give you what the exact future you needs and how they live by, not what they wish for, not what they try to do, but what they execute without any type of question. And these 10 standards, they aren't optional. Okay, I think that's a big problem. People think, oh, maybe no, this is not optional if you want to become the best version of yourself. And every single one of us wants that. Our kids want that. Our wife wants that. Our life wants that. So these are how you build discipline, how you build power, how you build respect in yourself, an identity that your kids will inherit, because that's what happens. So we have to be done being soft, and we can't be doing our best, right? We want to rebuild, and we want to build the best version of you. And these standards are something I want you to write down. I want you to tattoo them to your arm, do whatever you need to do, put them on the fridge, and they're going to change your life. Now, the first one about everything is you track your intake. You track your intake, not your intentions. I think this is a big thing. If you intend to eat healthy, or did you eat healthy, right? It's black and white. It's not what you feel like you want to do. It's what you did. And I think you have to put it down. You go to try. You say you want to eat healthy, but you're eating, I'm eating healthy, but you're overeating your calories and you're 25 kilos of weight. You're not eating healthy, mate. You're just not. You're guessing your portions, you're winging your macros, you're not having enough protein. You say you're eating healthy, and I eat chicken like 5 times a week, and one of them is a chicken parma, one's a chicken Kiev, one's a chicken schnitzel, and one's a KFC chicken, right? It's just because you got to look at what you're actually eating and what you're tracking. There's nothing wrong with a KFC Zinger burger. It's 452 calories. But if you track it, for sure. If you didn't track it, then it's not okay, guys. Your fuel builds your body. It builds it or breaks it. And at the moment, are you tracking it to build it? And I think that is probably the biggest thing you have to ask yourself.
Yeah, 100%. And we've said this before, right? We judge other people by their actions. We judge ourselves by our intentions. We're often very soft on ourselves. My plan was to have this, but then this came up and this came up. And we can really over justify. But at the end of the day, you have to have some method, some metric of knowing what is going in, right? What is going in versus what's going out. Because while we can try to control our expenditure, like calories, people talk about calories in, calories out. calories in, calories out is the principle. But a lot of people are like, oh, so you just eat less, move more. So it just seems simple. But the calories out part is, for more often than not that within our control. Like there have been some studies that show that if you overtrain and you over-exercise, your body will compensate for that excessive expenditure by reducing calorie expenditure when you're resting, so that your average still kind of works out to be all right and works out to be a little bit lower. It's the calories out is like a lot of shit that goes on. So what do we have fundamental control over? What goes in. And that means you track your food, you track your intake, because you will be surprised at how much, just a little bit of a snack here and there, 3 or 4 times a day, just a handful of walnuts, that'll really fuck up your day. But as Trav's saying, it's like, oh yeah, I eat chicken. Chicken Kievs are probably one of the worst offenders, because it's like, number one, it makes the crispy breading soggy, and then you're just left with dry chicken breast and then melted garlic butter half all over the plate. And it's like, it's not that enjoyable. Most of the times you're just getting mouthful of butter. Like, it's pointless, right? Just stop it. I would have one of those if it was just chicken breast crumbed. I was like, okay, cool, I'll take that. But it's when it's, crumbed and deep fried and it's not breast, it's got other fat and shit in it, like it just becomes an issue. So I have my beef is with chicken Kiev. So you're not winging it. I think fundamentally for me, tracking makes you intentional, right? It makes you intentional about what you choose to eat. You're not just flying through life by default. And that's what a lot of these standards are going to be. A lot of these standards are going to come back to being intentional with your life and actually planning out your life as a result of who do you want to be, right? What future you are you actually striving for? Because the future you is going to come by default or by design. And is your default trajectory currently heading towards where you want to be? Or do you need to maybe change course a little bit?
Exactly, mate. I think when we're looking at it, guys, everything in life that you want, you track, right? You want to grow your bank account, you track the numbers. You're spending, you track your income, and all of a sudden you save a deposit and you buy a house, or you go on a holiday, whatever it is. You don't just wing it and go, oh, hopefully I can buy that house, or hopefully we can afford the holiday, and you just never go. It's the same thing. If you're not tracking your intake, you're never going to get your goal. It's not going to happen. You're winging it to hopefully achieve something that is much more important than a holiday. You have one body for the rest of your life. You're going to probably have a lot of holidays. So start tracking your intake of your food much more importantly than you're tracking the savings for the next holiday. I think that's a big thing you have to understand. Like, it is so crucial to get this down pat and track double as well on the weekends, because that's where you keep stuffing up. So make sure we track it. You're not fat because of food. You're fat because you're in denial about what you're actually eating, right? You're just putting your hand to your mouth too many times, and you're putting the wrong stuff in it. Track your day before it starts, follow the plan. If it doesn't go to plan, have a if, when, then scenario. And if that doesn't happen, just don't fucking eat, right? Like that's also a plan. That is a plan. I'm out at a dinner. There's nothing for me to eat. What do I eat? Oh, so I had 17 hot dogs. No, you just don't eat. That's okay. I'm full. Okay, no worries. You move on. The next one we look at is we train 3 times a week, no matter what. Now that can be a run. And it can be 2 lifting sessions. I prefer 3 lifting sessions than just a run and 2 lifting sessions. But I understand everyone's constraints are different, especially at the start of their journey when they might not like training. And then you start liking training and you find more time and you fit that in. But we don't miss 3 times a week. I don't care if you're traveling. Like, do some squats and some push-ups and some sit-ups in your hotel room. Oh, but that's not training. It is training. If you said that's your training for this week, that's your fucking training, right? It doesn't have to be it's the most magical training program developed by the best people in the world. No. You intend, I'm going to train on Monday when I'm in the gym here. Then I'm flying to Gold Coast and I'm going to be in a hotel room. I don't have access to a gym. There is, but let's just say you don't. And I'm going to do this in the hotel room. Fantastic. On Friday, I'm flying to whatever, Newcastle. I'm going to go for a run. There's your training. Okay. We don't miss, period. You said, this is what I'm going to do. Now, be integral with your word and follow through. Doesn't matter if it's short, doesn't matter if it's ugly. Your training is a contract with your future self. It is a contract. Do not break that contract, actually adhere to it, and your life will change. Your motivation will change. Your momentum will change. Your self-identity will change. You will start to become strong because of it. You will start to become proud of yourself. You will start to build that man that you know you can become. Because when it's tired, when it's everything, when it's dark, when it's cold, when it's raining, you still fucking do it. Because you said you were going to do it. You have to train. It's as simple as that. I was actually, Jace, just talking to someone on the phone, and he lost a bunch of weight. And he lost 20 kilos and before training with us. And he's like, oh, I've gained some weight back and I feel soft and loose skin. I was like, how'd you do it? He's like, I did the man shake and I walked. And I was like, yeah, man, you probably lost 50% of your muscle mass in that 20 kilos. You probably lost 10 kilos of muscle, 10 kilos of fat. And that's why we do resistance training in a weight loss phase. If you're in a calorie deficit and you're eating less food and you start breaking down your body's becoming catabolic. It's breaking itself down. Okay. Now with this, if you don't give it a reason to hold on to muscle, it will lose the muscle. It will break down fat and muscle. You need to have enough protein. And that's what we talked about before. You need to be having your training. You've got to be doing resistance training. Now, if you eat enough protein and you are going to be doing resistance training, that is muscle sparing. So you'll be breaking down mainly fat mass. So you not become weak. You not become soft. You don't become a smaller round version of yourself and you're still round. And with that, because you became lean and strong, you become more proud and confident. It is so important. I can't stress it more than I have, mate.
Yeah, when it comes to longevity, there's like a couple of things that really highlight how long you live, right? And fundamentally, like, I don't know if I've met a dad who's ever thought, no, I don't want to live as long as I can to be there for my kids. Like, I don't know if I've ever met a dad who's that was their angle. So one thing that I think is really important is, that is important from a factor of longevity is grip strength, actually. And I was listening to a snippet of a podcast from Brian Johnson, that dude who wants to live forever, the guy who's like investing millions into all the anti-aging stuff. And yeah, grip strength is a big factor as you get older, right? Because that general strength, that bone density of, if you fall over, you need to be able to get back up. You need to be able to hold yourself up and pull yourself up and do all these other things. That's what strength training starts to slow down the degradation of. If you can, at the very minimum, strength train, like 2-3 times a week for the rest of your life, you will live longer than fucking most of the people. Like, there's one thing that you can do, right? Apart from, wear a seatbelt and put a helmet on when you ride your bike and all of the other sort of things. It's like, if there's one thing you can do, it's fucking strength train. Because the amount of longevity you get from extra muscle mass, from the strength, from being more self-sufficient, all of the stuff that goes with that. So it's like, you really need to, and it's another one of those things that forces you to be intentional about your week. And we get this with guys all the time, like, when can you train? Oh, I could do these days. Oh, wait, no, I can't do that, okay? Because we've got to, drop the kids off to this time after school, and, it becomes a bit hectic, so I don't have time, and I've got to get up early for work on this day, or I fly out this day. So it's like, oh, cool, you're actually started to be intentional about your week, instead of just like fucking waking up and like, oh, what's this day going to be? I don't know. Like, I'm not even thinking about what my next meal is going to be, and just kind of, you become, Les Brown says, if you casual through life, you become a casualty. And two men are casual about their lives. They don't plan it. They don't intentional about it. They just kind of waltz on through. So be intentional about when you're going to train and prioritize it 3 times a week. Like I did yesterday, I was like, it's easy. The better you get it running, the faster your workouts are. It was a 27-minute workout because I was like, I'm not walking this. I want it to be over faster. So I'm just going to fucking run faster. That's my hack.
Mate, I completely agree. I think if you look at it, guys, get it done. Don't negotiate with yourself. Like, just stop negotiating with yourself. The next one is we walk 10,000 steps a day. Now, I understand you might find that hard. And if you can't get 10, get 8. And that maybe that's your rule. But if you can get 10, and if it's not just you being a little bitch saying you can't get it, like, get it done. Like, it's 10,000 steps. Wake up half hour earlier and go for a walk for half hour. That's going to be 5,000 steps, 4,000 steps. So with that, then all of a sudden you only have 5,000 or 6,000 for the rest of your day. Go for a 20-minute walk. Buy a dog, right? Making you have to walk. Give yourself more problems. And then all of a sudden you'll start getting your steps in. So, this is a non-negotiable. You should be walking. Back in the 60s, we talked about this. The average step count was 16,000 steps a day. The average step count now is 4,000 to 5,000. That is an issue. Like, there's studies that if we increase our step count out of sedentary, which is just about 8,000 steps a day, if we increase our step count out of like 7,200 is that bottom limit. And most of us aren't hitting that. So we have a sedentary lifestyle. And because of this, we are closer and more likely to get chronic disease. And there are studies showing that if we increase our step count out of being sedentary, we are less likely to have chronic diseases in our long-term health. So in that, just that in itself, start your legs moving towards a step count and just track it. Oh, but today I got 6,000. Okay, we'll get 14,000 tomorrow. Like, go for a bigger walk. Go for a jog if you need to get them in, if you don't have time. I don't care. Just get it done. Like, we want to move If we're getting our steps in and we're doing it by walking, it doesn't increase our hunger. So it's a way, we talked about energy burn, it is a way that we can burn more energy. Walking 10,000 steps from 4,000 steps a day will burn more calories than doing the weight training or the exercise, that extra 6,000 steps. Like, it will help you burn fat or will push you into that calorie deficit. Make sure we are still doing resistance training though, because we don't want to lose muscle. There's caveats to all of this. There's context. It matters. But I need you to understand that movement is medicine, not just for your body, but also for your mind. It is not a luxury. It's not like maybe I should. It's no, you must. I must do 10,000 steps a day. This is the standard. This is where I hold the line. If you don't have time, buy a fucking walking pad. Do it while you are at your work. But they don't like that. Do they like you to die early? No. Okay, then get a walking pad. So they want you to be more productive? Yes, then buy a walking pad. You know, like, do they want you to be in a better mood? Yes, buy a walking pad. You know, movement increases positive emotion, which makes you a better employee and increases productivity. So all of a sudden your output is higher and they make more money. It's really fucking simple, guys. Get your 10,000 steps in.
Okay, steps a day. Like, I have a fundamental rule where I every day at least half an hour to an hour on my walking pad, because and otherwise I know my back seizes up, my things get tight, things like it is. Yeah, for every dad who's like, oh, my knees hurt, my lower back hurts. It's like, are you sitting down 90% of your day? Your hip flexors are constantly in this shortened position. It's like, oh, I don't understand why. Like, when my back was really sore, I used to have this routine where I would go for a walk with Imi in the morning on the pram, and I would do like 15, 20 minutes with her back when she would actually sit still and enjoy being in a pram for that time. Those days are long gone. But that was a really good way to start the day, to get the steps in. Right? And you've got to find those hacks for yourself. Again, you've got to be intentional. You've got to go, right, where can I get it in? Is it early in the morning? Is it taking the kids for a walk to the park? You know, take both kids for a little walk to the park in the afternoon when you get home while your wife cooks dinner or whatever your guys' routine is. You'll be the savior. Even if it's, you know, walking up and down the hallway, doing whatever it is you can to get that movement, because that's another indicator of if you're going to live long, right? If you just, all you're doing is like, oh, and this is another thing a lot of guys come to us with. I train really hard. What they do is they go to the gym 3-4 times a week, and then the rest of the time they're sitting on their ass. It's like, I don't know about you, Trav, but if I've done a session, but I've been sitting on my ass most of the day, I feel like I've done nothing. I feel like I'm wasting that session. I feel like fucking sluggish and shit, right? I feel like I have to do both, right?
You need some fucking fresh air. You need fresh air. You need a ground. You need to be a part of this planet, right? Like, and if you're sitting down all day,
feel the rain
again,
on your skin, get the sunshine, get vitamin D.
But like, it just changes your energy. Like, movement changes your energy. Like, yeah, you might lift some weights here and there, but like going for a walk or going for a jog, like, you know, getting your 10,000 steps will make you a better human being. There is no negatives to it. There is no negatives. So
no
I think
just don't walk on the middle of the road.
Exactly. Yeah, or on fire.
Yeah.
I did that with Tony Robbins. Don't have to do it again. So with this, guys,
I did that too.
I think if you're tired, you know, go for a walk. If you're stressed, go for a walk. You know, if you've got excuses, you just walk them off, right? Whatever it is, you just go for a walk. That is the best thing you can do, guys. The next standard is we don't press snooze, right? If you're snoozing your alarm, you're snoozing your life. Now, I know some people have 73 snoozes. I know some people don't. Like, I have 2 alarms that go off. You know, I think when we press snooze, we're avoiding our future. We're avoiding the time you said you were going to wake up. Snooze, 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 right? You start your day, if you press snooze, by breaking your first promise. We don't do that. We don't break the first promise of the day to ourselves. We get the fuck up and we get going. Like, you started your day with the intent, I'm going to get up at this time. And then your alarm goes off. And the first decision you made was, I'm going to lie to myself. Don't make that your first decision of the day. We want to own our mornings, not allow our mornings to own us. Like, my alarm goes at 3:55, right? My first one. And it sort of comes up and says, hold the standard. Now, hold the standard to me means like, do what you said you're going to do. I hold the standard I set for myself. That goes at 3:50.
Number 1.
Literally, man. I hold the standard. And at that point, I don't like to get up straight away. I press off on that alarm. I roll over and I hug Liv, my wife, for 5 minutes. 4 a.m., it goes off and it says discipline over feelings. That's literally my second one it says on my phone. And that's the other code, right? Like, I don't give a fuck if I feel tired. I have discipline and I get my shit together. I hold the standard and I have discipline over feelings. So I cuddle Liv for 5 minutes and then I get up, I make her a coffee as I'm getting my stuff together. I put it next to her bed so then she has a nice coffee smell going there and she might microwave it because she might not have it straight away, or then she gets up and does her work, right? But that is the start of my day every single day of my life. It doesn't matter if it's Saturday, it doesn't matter if it's Wednesday, it doesn't matter if it's fucking any other day. That is my life, that is my day. I have a routine, I want to win my morning because I win my morning, I win my life, right? And also I have a bit of time to myself. It doesn't mean I go to the gym every day. Like, that is when I start and I do the highest priority tasks in my day at that point in time, right? And whatever that is at that point in time, I execute it. Yes, I'll have a coffee. Yes, a lot of the times, I'll go and move because it makes me feel better and more productive. Some mornings are jam-packed, so I have to get other shit done then. But do not press snooze, because then you're just snoozing your life away and you're lying to yourself first thing. And it's snoozing for a guy who's already given up on life, right? You're giving up on your best self. Nah, it's okay. I'll lie to myself again. And we don't want that.
And you snooze because you're just woken up, you're tired, you probably had a shitty night's sleep because you haven't been intentional about your previous night, right? In terms of your nighttime routine, you haven't been intentional about what time you've been getting to bed, you've been scrolling up late, right? You snooze a little bit longer, a little bit longer, a little bit longer. Now, like it never ends up feeling restful. You always feel like, unless you're snoozing like, my first thing in the morning cancelled, I can sleep in for another hour and a half. Okay, go for gold, right? Sleep is important. Snoozing again and again and again and again, you might as well just set a later alarm, right? Like, I've got 3 alarms. One is at 7 o'clock, one is called Henry, and one is called Imogen. So I've got like three alarm clocks that are set. My wife keeps getting pissed off at me because I had it set for 7, and then I wouldn't get out of bed at 7, but it would wake her and Henry up. I wouldn't snooze it, but I would it would wake up, and then we would usually have like a little morning cuddle, and then Imi would come in, and we just like we value a slow morning with the family, while they're both young, while they're not going to school, while it's like a bit easier. And that's something that's really enjoyable. But this morning I set it for 8 o'clock because she was pissed off at me for it, and it was like 7:40. She's like, "Fuck, I've got to get out of the house quick." I'm like, "You see why I had the alarm set? I was keeping us on track, giving us time for a slow morning, and being intentional and getting the shit done. It helps that working from home does really help, and I get the capacity to do stuff more in the afternoon. But you've got to when you're going to wake up, if you're going to get up, get up. I was trying to say, don't have the first thing you do be, I'm delaying starting this day. Like, I'm pushing this day further back.
The first thing you should do is be fucking happy that you opened your eyes.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't die of some shit in the night. I get to live another day. The morning is when the kids are the most pleasant as well. So it's like the best because they wake up, hi, Dad. Yeah, it's great. Everyone's happy, right? Until they, until they become teenagers and they need more sleep.
Yeah, exactly. I'll do this next one, and I think you'll do the one after this, Jace. I think we just want to win our mornings. Every day before 9 a.m., you hit your protein, right? Like, it is crucial. It doesn't matter if you're fasting or not fasting. Like, I fast, and my first meal is just whey protein and water. It's a modified intermittent fast. I want to have the first thing that hits my gut to be protein. I just like it. I want it. It helps with muscle mass. It helps with satiety. It helps with not losing muscle mass in a calorie deficit whilst you're trying to get shredded. It helps with a lot of things. It helps stabilize blood sugar levels. Protein first thing. We move our body. Movement increases BDNF, it's brain-derived neurotropic factor, which is going to help your performance at work, your cognitive performance. It helps your decision making. It helps your thinking. It helps you feeling better. You don't do a workout and regret doing the fucking workout, right? So you move your body. You look at your targets for the day. I have things that I want to win each day. I look at them, I review them. It's 5 things I need to do every single day, right? 3 health, 2 normally not health. 1 is a business one and 1 is a family one. I write those things down. I look at them and I'm like, okay, these are my targets. Any obstacles for my targets? Yes, no. Yes, there's an obstacle. How am I going to overcome that? This is my plan. So I'll like review my day. Yes, I've got more shit to do than those 5 things in one day, but those are the top 5 things that I'm trying to focus on at the moment. So those are my key things that I must do. If it's 11 o'clock at night and I haven't done it, then I keep going until I've done those things. Because I said I'm going to do them. And they move the needle forward in my life. And then you act before you react. If you wake up late and you press snooze 23 times, you're reacting to life. Shit, I should have done this. Oh, I don't have time for that. So you get up and you act and you focus and you plan. And then you hit the plan. And then it's not just a routine. It's a launch sequence for the best version of yourself, right? When we win the morning, we win our day, right? Before anyone else can interrupt us, we get to win that part of our life. And then the rest of the life can become chaos. But I think it's for every dad, you have to win the morning. And that is the key thing. Now, for yourself, Jace, what's our next one?
So our next one, after you obviously, win the morning, you also got to reflect on the night, right? So number 6 is I audit myself every night. So every evening, and this is part of having a reflective practice, an intentional reflective practice. You go back and you ask, did I lead today? Did I train? Did I eat? Did I show up? Did I do, essentially the first 5 things we've spoken about? Did I get those in, or did I make excuses? Right? And what this does, it provides you an opportunity to give yourself feedback, provides yourself an opportunity where you're not waiting until Sunday or even the end of the month or fucking, God forbid, the end of the year to go, oh, did I achieve what I wanted to achieve? And that's what so many people do. It's like, oh, did I do my New Year's resolution? Well, fuck, you knew you weren't doing your New Year's resolution 2 months in, but you've waited all the way until November where the weather started getting nicer. And you're like, oh shit, damn, the abs, they didn't come. Santa didn't bring them. Fuck. Easter Bunny didn't bring them. No one brought them, right? You brought more KFC home and then they just disappeared. They ran and hid. So every night you go to look, you go, I'm not waiting for Monday to start again. If you made excuses, right? We've talked about this principle before. You never miss twice, right? And we'll talk about this a bit later on. But if you have a day where it's just not ideal, where things don't go your way, and as we've spoken about, random shit always happens. Every night you audit and you fix. And this is something that I recommend as well for your partnerships and your relationships too. Too many dads, they let arguments and squabbles and things that are annoying them, just like, wives will often let things that are annoying them drag on and not bring them up and not go through them and not fix them. And evening after the kids are gone to bed, while we're cleaning the house, is often when, my wife and I will talk about things. Oh, this happened today, or Amy did this, and this is a good way I want to handle it in the future, or, how was this today? And when you said this, I was just tired today, so don't take it personally. Like, just all of those little things that you can get out in the air. Like, you can audit your relationship every night, but you should audit yourself every night too. Go, did I show up to my fullest? Did I really do the things that I said I was going to do? Did I hold the standard? Right? Did I live by the code? If that's something that you're doing, it's like, that is something that is so important. So, self-reflect every single night. And that is where your self-respect, you self-respect when you self-reflect. I feel like it's a nice
That's a good one.
Be a rapper.
I like that. You should
I'll
do
take
that.
it. Yeah, I like that. Self-respect when you self-reflect. It's not the intent, like we talked about. It's not the intention. It's like, what was my actual game plan? Did I stick to it?
What was the actuality? Yeah,
exactly. And that's where you build self-respect.
Exactly. And if I didn't, then you fix it tomorrow, right? I think if you have 365 iterations across the year, that's a lot more room for improvement if you're doing it once a month or once a week, right? It's the difference of 12 or 52 or 365. The man who does 365 will 100% design the life instead of living by default. And because otherwise you just start to drift between the weeks and the months. The next one is say no more often than I say yes. Right? That is something that will hold the standard. If someone gives you food that's not on your plan, you say no. Okay, does this food serve me? What is in my plan? No, then I say no. Unless it's like, but if you're going to a fucking birthday, it didn't pop out of nowhere. You're in the car driving there. And hopefully you listened to your wife when she said, we're going to this place tomorrow. And you weren't living in La La Land. Oh, where are we going this afternoon? Oh, I didn't plan for that. It's like, listen, converse with your partner, plan your weeks, plan your days. Yeah, sometimes, chaos happens and randomness happens, but 9 times out of 10, you know it. So track it ahead of time. And then if you did plan ahead of time and the food is there that you didn't want, you can say no. You can say yes if you want, but then change the day right later on. But say no more than you say, oh, come out for beers instead of going to, no. Like, oh, stuff your kids, come and do this. No. Like, oh, press snooze. No. Like everything, like if it's not in line with the life you're designing, then you say no. It's very simple. Oh, but those guys won't like me anymore. Good. I don't care. Surround yourself with people with the standards that you want. That's also okay. So say no to people who pull you down. Say no to shortcuts. Quick fixes never give you long-term results. Like say no to fucking around when your family needs a leader. Say no to the justification. Say no to the excuses. Say no to the blaming, right? Say yes to taking some fucking ownership of your life. Say yes to I made myself in this position and I will change this. Say yes to that. We don't choose balance. We chase alignment. We want to try and be aligned with the version of us that we are striving to become, which is the man that is the best version of us. The 2.0, 3.0, I don't care if you're up to 23.0 version of yourself. Like I am. It's a constant iteration to continue to strive and grow. And you can only do that if you say no to the shitty fucking version of you that led you to being overweight, not the man that your partner maybe wanted or married, or the kids that you don't want them to be the role model for. Say no to that man and say yes to the man who you know you can be deep down, who you're going to bring out, who you're going to come back to, who you're going to fight for. I think that's the big thing you say yes to.
Yeah, there's two principles here I love. It's like, it's either a fuck yes or it's a no. And this is the thing, especially when it comes to one of your clients, Calvin, who's also my brother-in-law. We talked about this a couple of times. He's like, he will constantly ask whenever we've gone out to restaurants, this dessert, like, will it change my life? And if there's any hesitation on the part of the waiter or the waitress, no, don't worry about it. It's like, because I'm not going to go off my diet for anything that's not going to be like life-changing. Now, to be fair, he's been going to more better and better restaurants that have been more and more life-changing. That's the problem, right? Success has its own problems. But fundamentally, if something's not a fuck yes for you, it's a no, right? If, having a couple of beers and a bunning sausage with the boys, is that a fuck yes? No, it's not worth it. Someone's like, hey, we're going to book out this entire restaurant. And it's going to be this amazing thing. And we're going to have this, all right, one night for a night. Or it's
yes.
My best friend's wedding. Yeah, that's a fuck yes, right? There are certain things but they have to be a fuck yes because, and this is something I told my wife, like really early days when we first met, because she was having these issues with just like friends that she would have that just weren't filling her cup and they weren't like, fuck yes friends. I was like, if you say yes to too many mediocre things, your calendar's going to be full of mediocre shit. You're not going to have room for amazing stuff. And it's not just sitting there going, I'm going to say no to this because I hope something better comes along. But it's just like, you want to have room in your life for those things. And it's not worth going off plan. And it's not worth, sacrificing your health, sacrificing your session, sacrificing your energy, your time with your kids, whatever it is, for something that's not like going to inspire you, for something that's not a fuck yes. So you have that phrase, as Trav says, like, if the default is a no, and that makes it easy because, I'm going to my nonna's house and she always makes me eat. And you default, you have it ready to go. You just say, no, I'm sorry, it's not on my plan at the moment. It's not in my goals at the moment. Maybe next time. No, right now. Not right now. Not right now. People would get so pissed off at me when I was deep in my cut. And you've got to be strong enough to hold this, where it's like, to the point where I brought my own protein pizzas. They were having a pizza night. I brought my own little frozen protein pizzas, which were also amazing, right? I think it was Core Power Foods have them.
Core Power Foods.
Yeah, they're so good. But I lived off those. But I took them and someone got pissed off at me because I took those to a pizza night. I'm like, I'm still having pizza with you guys. I'm still physically here. Like, why is this so confronting? Just have some pizza, just do this, just do that. Because it often causes people to self-reflect. So
exactly.
Be aware of, when you are striving for something, other people will, do their best to try and pull you down, right? The crabs will pull you back into the bucket, but have your default response. No, thanks. I'm good. No, thanks. I'm good. People would get pissed off, but that's on them to live their mediocre life, not you.
Exactly. I think number 8, we'll brush this one a bit faster because we've talked about it a little bit.
Yeah. It's like I've gone on many tangents.
Yeah, fuel to perform, not to escape. Like, we use food and alcohol as a coping mechanism. We use sugar, booze, like weekend binges. I've had a hard week, hard life, I don't give a fuck. I don't care what your heart is. Like, you're either fueling to perform or you're fueling to cope with your life. And in the moment, fuel to perform your life, because then you're not going to have to cope with your life because your life is going to give you everything you want. I think you need better coping mechanisms for your stress. We lead with our meals. We don't follow our cravings. We eat with intention, not with reaction. I think we don't eat with emotion. That's for sure. I think we have to look at fuel as functional, and our body reflects our choices at the end of the day. If you're overweight, your body reflects those standards. You didn't have standards. You had a lack of standards. So we fuel to perform. So food never fixes your feelings, right? Your standards do. Like, when you had the pizza or you had the ice cream, it didn't fix the fucking problem that you had it for. Like, the problem's still there. You momentarily felt better, and then you probably felt worse after the fact. So fuel to perform for your life. Now, the next one is, like, we don't miss, and we did allude to this before. It's like, we don't skip sessions. We don't say, no, I forgot meal prep. Mate, go buy a fucking microwave meal. Like, there are so many things you can buy these days that keep you on track if you didn't have time to prep. Like, that's not an excuse to go have your Kranksky sausage from the servo or whatever it is. Like, I know.
Taking me back, man. Taking me back. I can't go back there.
We don't miss because we're too tired. We don't miss for any reason. You just get it done. And you own if you don't do it, we do never miss twice, right? Like, I like the habit by James Clear. It's like, if we miss a habit, we never miss twice, because if we miss twice, that's the start of a new habit, right? We don't want to miss twice. That is literally the start of the new habit, which is a habit of missing. And that is not holding the line. That is not the standard of the future you. We never miss more than once because we continue to then build the next streak and we beat our streak again. Consistency is your identity. You know, if it's not locked in, it doesn't get done. And that's on you. So lock that shit in and don't miss. The last one that we'll talk about, Jason, we'll have a bit of a back and forth is, you know, leading your family by leading yourself first. And I think this is a big thing. You know, we'll talk to guys, you know, whether it be a sales call or whatever it is. They're like, oh, I just have to ask my wife. Mate, it's your life. You are responsible for your life. It's not her responsibility. It is your responsibility. You got yourself 30 kilos overweight with everything that happened. So it's your responsibility in your hands to do, oh, what if my wife doesn't support you? Then fucking pull up your big boy pants and support yourself. Because she probably has given up because you tried 23 diets and 15 gym memberships. So maybe she doesn't support you anymore with it because she's like, it's just another thing. Another thing you're going to do that you're not going to do because you keep doing the same thing, which is giving up when it's hard. So you start by leading yourself, mate. You don't preach, you model. You model the version of you your kids want to be. Don't preach to them, fucking model it, right? Show them how to live through your actions, not through your words. Don't drag your kids into discipline. You want to walk through discipline and they go, that's my dad. I am following him because one, they look up to you. Like, that's my dad. My dad's the strongest in this school, right? You want your kids to argue with other kids about your dad's going to be able to beat up their dad, right? Like, my dad's the strongest. My dad's the fastest. You want them to be proud of you. My dad can drink the most beers. My dad can pass out faster than yours on a Saturday afternoon. It's
my dad snores the loudest when he's on the recliner.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, you want to have stuff, and they say that because they're fucking proud of you, right? They say my dad is the strongest, fastest, all the rest of it, because they're super proud. And you want your kids to look up to you with this, like, proud man, like, that is my dad. And I think that's what standards create. Standards create the role model that you want to be. And the legacy starts with you. It starts with how you fuel your body, how you move your body, what you do with your word to your body, right? That's it. You're leading yourself. And that's how you lead your family.
You take responsibility for yourself, your actions, what's going on in your life. And yeah, too many times we'll speak to guys and about, oh, if you're iffy about you making this transformation and like changing your life, your family is going to pick up on that. Your wife's going to pick up on that. They go back, well, if you're not 100% all in, then no, I'm not going to, like, they're not going to back you. They're waiting to see that confidence. They're waiting to see that line in the sand from you going, no, now is when I need to change my life. This is what I'm going to do, because I don't think I've ever met a wife who wouldn't want their husband to have more energy, to be more present, to feel better about themselves, to look in the mirror and feel confident. But too many dads don't speak about this stuff. They don't tell their partner when they're struggling. They don't tell their partner how bad they feel when they look in the mirror, when they're the ones who are always taking the photos of their family and not ever getting in them. Right? Like, if that's the situation you're in, like, your partner needs to know about that shit. They need to know so they can support you in making a change. Because, some of the guys we've spoken to, it's been their wives who have gone, you need to make a fucking change. You need to do something different because, right now you're not yourself.
Mate, they're silently begging for you to do something.
Yeah.
They're begging. I want my husband back. I want the man I met back. The one who, like, had dreams, who took charge, who fucking had ambition, who like stopped lying to himself and justifying shitty behaviors. The one who, like, I met and I was like, yeah, that's the guy I want to spend the rest of my life with. Because that's what they did, right? They didn't say, I want to spend with my life with a guy who makes excuses and blames me for how he feels shit all the time for the rest of my life. That sounds like fun. No, they want a man who fucking takes charge and a role model for the kids they chose to have with you. Like, that's what they want. Because they want their kids to have a role model. So step up and be that role model. Like, these 10 standards, guys, they're not someday. They're not when things calm down. They're a fucking blueprint to weaponize your life so you can be a role model for your family. The role model your family needs. The role model that you were meant to be. Like, you got to stop drifting. You got to stop pretending. You got to pick these 10 things. You got to print them out. You got to put them on your fridge, put them in your car, put them on your notebook, put them on your laptop, put them on your phone. Put them everywhere that you see them. So then you go, I will execute these without negotiation. I will then just continue to do it. I wake up, I do it again. I wake up, I do, oh, but that sounds boring. Fucking a great life is built from boring shit, guys. A great fucking life is
Your
built
life
from
is
doing boring
chaotic
shit.
and unpredictable every day, and you don't know what the fuck's like. That's not exciting. That's fucking stressful.
That's stressful as shit.
Boring lets you, like, I've got some rhythm and routine, I've got some structure here, and then you're able to go off script when you can. But like, man, the way some people live, I'm like, fuck, I couldn't handle that.
Yeah, because you know what boring gets you? Money to save to have a holiday. Do you know what boring gets you? When they say it's the parents' kids race at school, you don't go, oh fuck, I can't do that because I'm too overweight. You know, boring gets you a relationship that actually, every night we have a conversation, we talk to each other. Oh, you do that every night? That sounds a bit repetitive. Oh, yeah, boring creates connection. Boring creates role models. Boring creates financial stability. Boring creates a body that you want. Doing the boring shit in a consistent way gives you the life that you want. Discipline equals the freedom that you want in every aspect of your life. And that is the point. Like, if you want to implement this code, like, and you want a future you that you're actually proud of and your kids are proud of and your wife is proud of, like, go to fit-dad.club, book in a call and we'll talk about where you are, where you want to be, and how to implement these 10 standards in your life to create the future you. So go to fit-dad.club. We'll have a call. We'll talk to you. We'll help change your life. We'll help you hold the line. We'll help you have discipline over feelings. We'll help you break the cycle so you don't pass down generational unhealth. We want to pass you down generational health. Like, we want you to do these things and we'll make you become the man with the brotherhood, which is code 5, because we need men who hold us to a higher standard, not ones that rip us down. That's what we need on this planet. Men that fucking, no mate, you're better than this. And that's the conversations we have, because sometimes that's what we need. And that's all the rants I have for today. I feel like I've had a few. Jace, have you got anything you want to finish with?
Nothing else to add, but if that's you, again, draw a line in the sand. If you can't press snooze on making this change, if you keep thinking about it, and when this happened, there's got to be a fucking line in the sand. There's got to be a point where you just go, enough is enough, and now is the time. And if that's the time, head to fit-dad.club. We'll hook you up. We'll sort you out, right? This is what we do.
All right, guys, until next week, that's another episode. Do these 10 standards, change your life, and reach out to us if you need some help. Peace out, guys.